Halloween's my Christmas, and I actually, now that I'm right into, researching all this kind of stuff and getting to know, obviously, the twin flame sort of things, it's opened my eyes to, I loved the history of Halloween, which we won't talk about on this podcast because we could get barred. Because there's certain things that'll come up that we might get stuff that the algorithm won't like it. Anyway, where was I going with that? Oh, just with regards to traditions and stuff of the earth, that what us as earth warriors come across, when the pagans went out, and connected and really connected as a person of the earth, like we do with what the animals do. We've sort of lost that, being trained, being lost with that, with being, programmed the way our egos have been manipulated and programmed, as far as I'm concerned. And that's what's happened with Halloween as well. There's a lot of stuff you can look up, which we'll probably do a Halloween special now. But what have you uncovered going deep into this stuff, Sarah? Well, you can tell all our viewers, our millions and millions of viewers, that always go, oh, look, there's witchy poo or whatever it is, but there's a lot more to it, if you know what I mean. So you look at the shows like Charmed and all that kind of stuff, there's a lot more to it being connected to the earth. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, like, where should I begin?
Wherever. Just whatever your experiences are more than. Oh, just go with your experiences. Like everyone says.
Yeah, like from what I've experienced and what I've witnessed, it's all like in my path in learning to become a witch and deciding that that's what was for me. It all actually kind of came about because I was trying to do my healing. Like I was doing a lot of spiritual practices for my own personal healing, for the arthritis and my own trauma release and like mental health stuff that I've got going on. And I really was starting to feel disconnected. Like I was only getting to a certain point with my healing, and I just couldn't get past a certain level, and I could feel that. And it almost felt like it wasn't right for me, like I was disconnected from it. And I don't know if you guys remember, but in the summertime, I was living in a different house.
Yes.
Briefly. And in that house, I was living with my friend Saran, who was born in India and is a traditional Ayurvedic practitioner. And he immigrated to Canada at a very young age. And he discussed with me while I was living with him a phenomenon that really bothered him in our society, and it was the phenomenon of the spiritual white woman, and this is his words basically. And he's like, due to the colonization of the Romans coming in and basically taking all spirituality away from European cultures and turning it to religion with the Catholic Church, it basically stripped European people, like women of European descent, of their spiritual heritage. If you wanted to practice your spiritual heritage as a European woman, you would get raped, pillaged, burnt at the stake, abused, like just everything bad would happen to you. And it was taken away from you. So in modern cultures, because we had nothing to fall back on, because it was all eradicated from our history and marked as bad, when really it was just the Europeans' way of connecting with nature for healing. And it was very similar to a lot of native cultures, the way that
why the American Indians and the indigenous people of Australia.
The indigenous people of all over the world.
Yep.
There was indigenous people in Europe as well before colonization, but that all of those practices got burnt, eradicated, raped, and pillaged out of history. and been told you're bad and you're evil and you're the devil, you're a devil worshiper if you are a witch, and like there's nothing good about witchcraft, you're bad. And we got told
but look at what witchcraft is. If they want to go, okay, we're talking about it now. Okay,
if you actually look at the word witch, the translation, it's an old Germanic word, and all it means is wise. Witch means wise. Witchcraft,
what we're doing,
wisecraft. It's building your own inner wisdom and intuition up to be able to help heal yourself and the community.
This is exactly what I was saying. Like, we look at it, what happened with Halloween. As I said, all the traditions were taken, which we'll have a Halloween special. We'll have to remind ourselves. Diana's really good at keeping us on track with that Halloween special, looking at what happened, and they actually took it, mate, and commercialized it. Look, I'm not complaining in the commercialization of it and all that stuff, but then once you go into what we're doing, you go, rightio, I'll still enjoy it for what it is, and this is exactly what we should be doing, enjoying dressing up, having fun. But what was the actual deeper meaning and whatever happened to get to this point? And then when you look into it, I mean, I can start talking about the Disney shows. Let's
try to stay on topic a little bit here, though, because like this kind of goes into like going into the land, right? Like all of the teachings that are available to us are also available in the land, and there's different ways in which you can gain this knowledge from going out and spending time in nature and spending time with the trees. There are different ways that you can communicate with trees. I'm learning how to do that now, and how to go into meditation and do grounding, sitting in the trees and like putting a hand on a tree and asking it to give you the information that you need. You'll get it. If you're clear enough and you're an open channel and you sit and you spend time with the trees, they will give you all the information that you need. Any plant on this planet can give you the information that you need. Putting your feet in a running river can also help you, give you information and bring new flow into your life and cleanse your body. Like, there are so many things that we have been taught, and like I'm sort of speaking from like the witch perspective, that we're beaten and like just totally eradicated from our minds, our thoughts, and everything. But that information and that medicine is still existent in the land.
Yeah,
it's still there, and it's still existent in our intuition too. Like, we can tap into that, but we were just told over and over and over again, if you do that, or if you identify as a witch, this is bad. When really they're telling you, if you identify as someone who listens to their inner wisdom or the wisdom of nature, you're bad. How is
you're listening to someone else?
How is that even truth? Like,
what's happening in the world? Have a look at
it. The truth of a colonizer that came in and eradicated the truth of the land and the people for their own personal gain. That's not my.
Still doing it. What are you talking about? They're still doing it.
They're still doing it. That's basically our entire planet got switched over when that Roman Empire came in and eradicated all of the witches and eradicated all of the natural healing happening in Europe, and basically saying there's nothing natural about it. It's evil. It's the devil's work. It's bad. If you want to be saved, you got to go to church. You got to go to this building. You got to give us the money. You have to do all of this and bow to us and listen to these rules. It took away your power. It takes away your intuition. It makes you feel fucking bad and wrong for listening to yourself instead of their rules. And that's not the kind of life that I want to live. That's not the kind of life I ever wanted to live. And when I was learning about my own, or learning to embrace spirituality as someone who is a really deep, strong European descent, like I'm 3/4 German. There's like, and the other part of me is Swiss and Scandinavian. Like, I'm European through and through. Like, the word witch, like, it's old Germanic, so am I. Like, I am a witch. And like, in my bloodline. So when I'm here as a spiritual person in the modern ages, looking to Ayurvedic medicine or yogic practices or Tai Chi or all of these things that really aren't in my DNA. They're in the DNA of people of Asian and Indian descents. That's in their bloodline. I can still tap into that because we are all one in the human collective, but I'm not going to get the full benefit of that because it's not ingrained in my DNA. It's not ingrained in my structure, in my cellular.
But it is now. Well, I'll step in there. Of course, it is now because you're tapping into the Earth's power and being an actual.
Now, or it can be more so now. But
they're all teachings. It's like Buddha and Zen are all teachings.
But I wasn't able to fully receive the benefits of them because it wasn't aligning with my structure. If that makes sense, like
100%.
I can make use of those things better now because I'm more aligned with my actual structure and like my actual inner knowledge as someone who practices witchcraft. And
the earth magic.
Yeah, and it's I do feel like it's important to also recognize like the difference between black magic and or like dark magic and light magic, or like black and white, and you know, that whole spectrum. The difference here is magic is great and wonderful, but it should only be used for self. Like if you're putting a spell, you should never be putting a spell on somebody else.
Yeah, but that's personal gain.
The moment you use your magic to manipulate the life or emotion or feelings of another, that's black magic.
Yeah, I agree.
The moment you are using it to benefit your personal experience,
your personal,
you keep it for yourself, and you use your intuition to build on your own inner world. That's light magic. Because you can actually affect the outer world by working
in a positive way,
in a more positive way than directly trying to manipulate the energies around other
manipulating
people.
The outside. Instead, you're working on the inside, and that reflects on the outside. Instead of trying to manipulate, you're trying to control a circumstance or get this to go your way.
Your inner world, exactly the way that you want it with your magic, your outer world will reflect that. You don't need to be putting spells on other people and going out and casting magic on other people because they done you wrong, or you want to be in a relationship with that particular person.
Well, you can't do that. You can't. It's like doing anything.
It's gonna backfire anyway.
That's when it comes into black magic, and that's why it backfires, because there's all these crossfires of information.
And your intention was to get
the intention isn't always pure. If there's a manipulative intention, there will be manipulative forces happening to make that work, and you may not benefit the way that you want to from it. So
but you have a look at the ego, right? What you're saying, you can take it to the next part where you got the ego, right? So, you know, we're always told to stand up for ourselves and all those kind of things, right? But then the ego gets involved, and I have to actually belt the crap out of someone or do something like that, or put a bloody spell on them and all that kind of crap. You don't actually do that. All you got to do is stand up. Exactly what it says in the first line. Stand up for yourself and just stand there, because in your energy, right, if you're standing up, say a man standing up for his woman or whatever else, you just got to stand there. You don't have to say anything. I worked that out because everything else is moved to ego. So if you look at what you're saying, and then when you actually do your connective practices with the earth, you're actually working from heart, not ego. So if you're working from ego, you're using them against it. You're using it against the natural flame, the natural progression of what actually happens.
Yeah.
What do you think, Di?
Well, I think this is an interesting topic because the thing I keep getting, the downloads I keep getting, as we're talking about working with the elements and everything, is pretty much like back to the basics, like with the frequency shift that's going on the planet, with the chaos, right? All things, and a lot of people are disconnected from themselves, disconnected from the earth. But for the earth to go in the frequency it's going in, to shift like that, we need to connect more with it and with the elements. Like today, I went out in nature. We went out to we went to like a lake. We were barefoot in the grass. We were just walking around the trees. You know, I put my phone away, right? Or maybe to record some TikToks, but like enjoying for the most part. You know,
But they have progression with the TikToks. You're doing something to help others. You're giving.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason I'm doing it is to show people to get grounded, because everyone's on their phone all the time. Everyone's on a computer screen, and me included. I mean, I'm at work all day on a 9-to-5 job, and then I record content, and then you be on your phone to get home. It's a lot. And I'm all over the place promoting all my shit too. So it's a lot. And sometimes it can be overstimulation. And I'll be wondering why I feel anxious some days. And so I think it's about balancing. And when you ground yourself more, you have, or connect to more of the earth elements, even water. I'll put my foot in like a stream or something sometimes. I'll walk around barefoot in the grass. Even the element of fire, right? Even watching like a candle flame, or like
cold showers is always good.
Huh?
Cold showers.
Yeah, and I mean,
been doing that for the last
I take a lot of baths and everything too, and even the air, just breathing the fresh air. Like when I was struggling with some darker stuff recently, that I literally couldn't get out of any other way. I even meditated and everything, but when I worked with the elements, when I went outside, got some fresh air, got some sunlight, or in the water or something, when I work more with that, like, it does stabilize me more. And I think right now it's important to have a stable foundation to ground yourself. And we have new moon, and we're in I guess we're in Gemini season now. But
it's still Taurus. The new moon was just in Taurus.
Yeah. So so the new moon was in Taurus. So it's all about grounding, finding. I made a video on it, or I just made like a short. I put on TikTok. It's about like finding stability, finding security, and a lot of that is just back to the basics. Like even enjoying the small comforts in life, eating some good foods, like smelling, like getting more in touch with your senses.
Do you think you've got I wanted to ask you, with all your stuff, right? And I think I'll take this to both of you. Now I've noticed it. Obviously in our voices we can tell. I can tell in all our voices we've transformed. Okay. I think we're coming more into our purpose. We're more transformed.